this movie. This is pure redemption for the character. This is easily one of the best comic book movie adaptations that we've ever seen so far. It's true to the character, it's just as great, it has some really great scenes. I really don't know where to start from this movie. Damn, my review sucked back in the day. What's up with the freaking air? Like, can you see that? The air. What was I even thinking recording this shit? Oh boy, I bet I gave this like super high score. I don't know, probably 9 out of 10 or some shit like that. Times sure have changed. First Star Wars The Last Jedi, then this thing, let's see. Oh, that ugly ass font. If you've seen 127 hours, you know. But still guys, Deadpool is a must see if... Whoa! Times have changed. Deadpool 2 is a sequel to the 2016 box office hit that was Deadpool, and this time around it's directed by David Leitch and it stars Ryan Reynolds, Morena Baccarin, TJ Miller, Josh Brolin and Julian Dennison. And as you can see, like, I was so excited when I first saw that film, and this is one of the biggest things that I've learned by reviewing movies over the years, is that never review a movie in the same day that you've watched it, especially something that you really enjoyed, because right after watching something you are super excited, but after that it's just feelings change, and I prefer to review movies now many hours or even an entire day after having watched it, because it just clears your mind of the excitement, of the hype, of everything else surrounding the film, and you just focus on the lasting impact of the film, because there are so many movies that you watch enjoying the moment, but even like 1 hour, 2 hours later you've already forgotten about everything that happened in them, so those are not good movies in my opinion. So I actually rewatched Deadpool recently, not all of it, but parts of it, and I still enjoy it. It's not the holy shit like 9 out of 10s that I gave last time around. I was stupid, I'm sorry guys, was young and excited at the time, but it's definitely a 4-star movie, very enjoyable, very fun, nice action. It's an okay movie, I liked it pretty much. Some moments are better than others, definitely, but rewatching it, it is still a fun film to watch. And so I went into Deadpool 2 with mild expectations, because I'm just sick and tired of these superhero movies. If you watch this channel, you know that I prefer other movies nowadays. I've just grown tired of them. But last year we got Logan, 2 years ago Deadpool, so I said, you know what? My man David Leitch, the director of Atomic Blonde, and especially one of the 2 directors of John Wick, he's directing this one, so worst case scenario, at least we have some decent action in this film. And this definitely isn't a worst case scenario type of film, it is actually okay. It is an okay film, like, I don't know. Again, just like with Avengers Infinity War, you've probably already seen this film. If you wanted to watch it, you've already seen it, so reviewing it is kind of pointless. I'm just gonna give my 2 cents on this whole argument for those people that are still on the edge. Is it as good as the first film? Having watched them more or less one after another, not really. I found this to be a shockingly lazy and shallow experience, which thoroughly surprised me. I was not expecting it to be. There are so many jokes from the first film that are rehashed, and not in a clever way. That's another thing, it's not as clever as the first film. If you've seen the promos, all the different TV spots and whatever, those are way funnier than the actual film. There is very little fourth wall breaking in a clever way in this film. And there is this thing like, it suffers from sequelitis. of having to improve under certain aspects and giving people what they liked about the original, but it just does not work as well as the first time around. Maybe because it's not fresh anymore, maybe because we've seen it already, maybe because it just doesn't work all that well in this film. But yeah, it wasn't a great movie, it's a borderline good movie. It was very watchable, definitely entertaining from start to finish. Some of the improvements are the action, which unfortunately is the worst action that David Leitch has directed as of right now, because I love John Wick with all my heart. Top 20, 30 favorite movies of all time, easily. Atomic Blonde, I loved the action in that film, but it was very inconsistent. Sometimes it was very raw, sometimes it was very cartoonish. Here it is all cartoonish, but it isn't as nicely shot, as nicely choreographed, and those other two films, probably because it didn't have the time or the team behind him to actually create something that was fantastic. There are some fight scenes that are pretty cool, especially one chase scene in the middle of the film. That was easily the highlight of the film. And as far as jokes go, a lot of tired references, jabs at other superhero properties, movies, music. It's just like the first film, only that it didn't feel as clever. And the first film still is kind of clever, and this one just isn't. It's almost cynical in the worst way possible. And the story itself, it's this lazy Deadpool builds this kind of friendship with this kid, like that's how they're marketing it, but in the actual film, the relationship between Deadpool and Julian Dennison, who was in the excellent Hunt for the Wilder People, it's just an unbelievable relationship in the worst sense, because there is no real build-up, and that goes for everything else in this film. There is no real build-up, there is no crescendo, things just happen, like poof, there's a kid, now he's not attached to him, but now he is attached to him, and they're making jokes and quips, and you don't really care all that much. It's too fast-paced in the worst possible ways. It just keeps going and going, jokes are said, things happen, but there is no build-up, and which is something that I always love in movies. Is they just whoop, woof. There's Cable, who's Cable? They don't really explain it. There's some lazy backstory that's just thrown in with exposition halfway through the film, but there is no, even there, build-up with the character. He's just there, he's one note through the entire film. It's not just that he is the straight man, it's just one note, boring. Unfortunately, because Josh Brolin is a great actor, but he doesn't really improve the character from the written page to the screen, which is sad. But as I've said, there are some moments of brilliance in this film. Moments where you said, holy shit, you could have done that the whole freaking time, but you just don't do it. Why? I don't know. This feels like a studio-mandated sequel. The first movie did as many things as possible to subvert expectation and change cliches and whatnot. But this film, they keep saying things like, oh, it's lazy writing, oh, there's gonna be a CGI battle, and shit like that. But that's not funny, that's just, like I would say in Italian, covering your ass. Whoops, I said that, so you can't really... I'm saying there's gonna be a CGI battle, so it's gonna be more fun. Instead, if I actually didn't say there was gonna be a CGI battle, it wouldn't be as fun. That's not true, just do something different, do something original. And there are some moments like that, especially with the X-Force, which is fantastic. Everything related to the X-Force was great, from the audition to the actual fighting. Fantastic stuff. And the new character of Domino, played by Zazie Beetz, I think the name is, sorry if I butchered it. She is great. She's the only true new addition to the film that I actually really love, because she's this superhero who's basically just freaking lucky. And every fight scene with her, every action scene is a joy to watch, very entertaining, very fun. And that's not to say that the rest of the film isn't entertaining, because as I've said, it's very watchable, it's an enjoyable film from start to finish. It just isn't as good as the first one. It's a more shallow story, full of tropes that they acknowledge, but still doesn't make it less tropey. And yeah, it just felt more lazy, more studio mandated, more, well, less fresh. So guys, you've probably already seen it or you still want to see it, that's fine. I still recommend it if you were a fan of the first one, it's not bad. But it just isn't as good. So guys, have you actually watched Deadpool 2? Do you like or do you dislike it? Tell me in the comments below. And what are your thoughts on the first film? Thanks for watching, to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.